splitting the colony has something to do with what we're talking about, queen cells, right? Because if we divide a colony ourselves, we essentially put them in a state of emergency. One of the divides, one of the boxes, is going to be queenless, and so they're going to right away start to make a new one. And so we're likely to see queen cells anywhere. If we use as little smoke as possible, if we know beforehand we're going to get into this colony and I need to find the queen, I need to isolate her, I need to know where she is because of whatever reason, I'm going to make a split or for some reason I need to find the queen. It would be best to use as little smoke as possible, because as soon as you smoke the bees, they're going to scatter, right? It's going to disrupt their normal routine. So the bees would behave one way around the queen on a frame that's undisturbed, and another way if the beekeeper got in there and jostled them around, bumped things around, put some smoke in there. If they're calm, they're undisturbed, you'll see a kind of a ring. They'll be facing the queen. There'll be a bunch of attendants around the queen following her around, and so you can see them kind of lined up around the queen. They'll give her some space. Other bees in the colony, I mean, they'll be crawling all over the place, crawling. The only other time you might see bees lined up around another bee, maybe if they're doing a waggle dance or something like that, that they would be paying attention to. Otherwise, they're going about their duties, crawling all over the place. But the behavior around the queen would be slightly different. Just look for a difference in movement. You'll see pictures of a queen bee on a frame, and as an attempt, somebody's going to give to show you, here's what the difference the queen looks like. She's different from the workers. Can you see her? And that's a still photograph. It's really hard to pick her out. Her head and her thorax look about the same, you know. And if her abdomen's covered up slightly by other bees or something else, you can't do it. It's the movement of that queen on the frames that's the giveaway. That's what's going to help you find the queen the most, is her movement. She doesn't walk the same way as other bees. She waddles around. If you, does a 9-month pregnant woman walk differently? Yeah. So if she's big and round, then she's gonna. You can see her abdomen move from side to side as she's crawling around on the cones. Right. So there's another thing to look for, and that's only identifiable if you look for the movement rather than just identifying the different shapes. So there you can see her head and her thorax is you know, look at her head. It's the eyes and things look just about the same as the other one. I remember a picture that I saw before. I don't remember what book it was in, but it was one of those. Guess where the queen is. See if you can find the queen. Identify the queen in this picture. And the queen was in the process of laying an egg. She had her abdomen down inside a cell. And so only her head and her thorax, and there were lots of other bees around her. You couldn't find her at all. It's a trick question, right? So that's, you know, that can happen if you're really gentle about how you handle frames. You may not see the queen. You can look right over because she just keeps right on laying eggs, going about her duties while you've got the frame out, so you wouldn't see her. So sometimes you may want to cause the bees to move a little bit, just so you can see the movement. But don't use excessive smoke. Yeah.